Good morning. It is Monday, April the 4th, and it is time for PLAR History and Geography. That is right, History and Geography PLAR. Andrew's PLAR English, which is normally at this time slot, will be taking place during my time slot tomorrow at this time, 10 a.m. Central Time. I'm switching time slot with Andrea because tomorrow morning, I am doing my community travel visit where I'm heading to Wagamama, Round Lake for my community visit for this term. So right now it will be PLAR History and Geography here at Wausau in Sulaco. We are currently almost at the end of this term. We are at week 8. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful weekend. It is kind of chilly and cold this morning, so hopefully everyone bundle up. Baseball started yesterday, where the Blue Jays started their season opener and they won, which is great, off to a great start. There is only one more week left in this term. Yes, one more week left, which means we got 4 more classes. Today, Thursday, next Tuesday, and next Thursday, and then boom, we're done. Term 2A will be done and in the books. So, which means that if you want to register for term 2B, you can do so right now. Just head over to your Learning Center in your community, fill out an application, or let your DUC know they can help you with that. If you want to switch any courses, you can also do that too. Remember, we have one more term left if you want to graduate at the end of June. So remember, this week and next week, term 2A done, and then term 2B will start. Okay, again, this is week number 8. Reminder, feel free to listen, call, if you want to participate. Again, if you have any questions while you're working on your assignments in your community or at your learning center, feel free to give me a call during my office hours. Send me an email, send me a Facebook message, or add me as a friend on Facebook. Again, if you can't make it to class, it's okay, but again, hopefully you can. If you can't, again, it's posted on my YouTube channel and it's on the archive page. Again, just a reminder, I'm heading out. I'm out of town. I'm heading to Wagamama tomorrow morning, and I'll be back sometime Wednesday afternoon. Thursday class will be go ahead as scheduled. No changes there. Okay. I was supposed to go to Wagamama for 2 nights, but that has been switched. So I went there for 1 night, which means that Thursday class will be back to normal. Again, tomorrow, just remind everyone, tomorrow at my time slot, Tuesday, April 5th at 10 a.m. Central Time, here at Wausau will be Andrea's PLAR English. So if you want to listen and participate in her class, it is tomorrow during my time slot. Okay? Again, for all my students and everyone out there in Wagamama, please come on out to your learning center tomorrow. I will be there. I will have lots of food, chicken, pizza, lots of good refreshments. So feel free to stop by the learning center, say hello to myself, Levi, who is a counselor here, who will be attending with me. And then if you need any help with any of your courses, bring it on out. I'm here to help. Doesn't have to be PLAR history and geography. Could be English. It could be math. Whatever you need help with, just bring it all out. I'm here to help you. I'm there for 1 day. And for 1 night. So I'll do my best to engage with everyone. And if you need any help, again, within your course materials, I am there to help. If you want to fill in an application while I'm there, boom, we can do that too and get you set up for that. Okay? So I'm excited, and I'll see everyone tomorrow in Wagamama if you're in that community. Okay? Other than that, that's all I gotta say. We're gonna start off today's lesson. We're still in the geography portion. We're still working on lesson number 5. Lesson number 5. Again, this term is almost done, and our lesson is almost done. We have today's class, today's content, materials to go over. And then we have another class on Thursday. There's another lesson, maybe 2, and then another lesson on Tuesday next week. And then we'll wrap things up next week on Thursday as this term comes to a conclusion. Okay, but our focus today again is still physical geography. Still working on lesson number 5, but our topic for today is the environment. Yes, the environment. Things that surrounds us every single day. So let's get to our learning goals and some of the topics that we will be going over so that we can follow along. So again, learning goals, let's write this out. For today's class, again, reminder, our today's topic is the environment. We'll be looking at the components of the environment, what that all deals about. We'll be also be talking about current issue known as global warming, whether you agree with it or not. We'll be discussing about that. With global warming comes with climate change, perhaps. Two topics that relate to one another. Again, whether you agree with it or not, we'll discuss that. With global warming and climate change, there's a international agreement coming up known as Kyoto, which is kind of come and gone, but we'll be talking about Kyoto Protocol and how Canada play a role in that. And lastly, we'll be talking about how to prevent global warming. What we can do to prevent or reduce global warming. Many things that we can do every single day to help reduce the cost of global warming or climate change. And finally, we'll be going over assignment number 14 in those questions. Okay, so those are the topics that we're going to be focused on in terms of today's class. Again, the components of the environment and what that consists of. Global warming, even though it's not really warm out today. Climate change, again, relates to global warming. The Kyoto Protocol, international agreement that Canada signed on to in order to help fight global warming, and how we can prevent global warming. The pros and cons, what we can do every single day to help reduce this natural phenomenon that we hear pretty much every day that people and politicians and environmentalists argue about. So let's get to the 4 components of the environment. Again, you'll see this come up again in assignment number 14, where it will ask you what are the 4 components of the environment. So, yes, there are 4. So 1, the atmosphere, which is the air. 2, the hydrosphere, which is the water. 3, the lithosphere, which is the Earth's crust. And 4, the biosphere, plants, animals, and people. So these are the 4 components of the environment. These spheres are closely connected to one another. Okay, these all 4 of them. For example, birds, which are animals, which are biospheres, fly through the air, which is known as the atmosphere. While water, which is the hydrosphere, often flows through the soil, which is the lithosphere. Okay, in fact, all of these spheres are so closely connected that a change in one sphere often results in a change in one or more of these other spheres. Such change that take place within an ecosystem are referred to as an event. Okay, so as a class, we need to remember what are the 4 components of the environment. The air, pretty much the air that we breathe, which is the atmosphere, things that surrounds us every single day. Okay, the atmosphere, the air that we breathe. 2, the hydrosphere, pretty much more than half the percentage of the earth consists of water, so that's the hydrosphere. Okay, the water could be could be lakes, oceans, rivers, the water that we drink from our tap, water that we drink from a water bottle. Those are consist of the hydrosphere. We as humans, as people, mainly consist of water as well. The lithosphere, which is the Earth's crust, could be the land forms, rocks, soil, the land that we live on. And finally, four, the biosphere, again, any plants, trees, animals, all of them, whether they're reptiles or mammals, and we as people. Anything that's pretty much living consists of the biosphere. We all know that they are linked closely to one another. Events can occur naturally, such as an earthquake or a hurricane, or they can be caused by humans, such as an oil spill or air pollution. An event can cause change to occur in one or more of these spheres, and or an event can be the effect of changes in one or more of the Earth's four spheres. This two-way cause and effect relationship between an event and a sphere is called an interaction. Interaction also occurs among the spheres. For example, a change in the atmospheres can cause a change in the hydrosphere and vice versa. So again, please note the four components of the environment and how, just note that they are so linked together, okay? All of them plays roles within one another. Okay, so those are the four components of the environment. Again, atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, biosphere, the air that we breathe, the water around us, the Earth's crust, or the land's Earth's landform, rocks, soil, and the biosphere, and that's pretty much living. Okay, again, you'll see this again come up in your assignment number 14. Next, how do people impact how do people impact the atmosphere? Again, we know the atmosphere is known as the air that we breathe. Okay, so how do we as people impact the atmosphere? Humans have an impact on the atmosphere when carbon dioxide is released from many sources, such as burning fossil fuels for energy and the operation of automobiles and cars. The gases get trapped in the heat produced by the sun, causing the earth to warm more than usual. This is known as global warming and can have a drastic effect on the environments, okay, which is the four spheres. Okay, so whether we're driving a cars, releasing car emissions, working in factories, okay, carbon dioxide, which is a popular form of gas, which is released from burning fossil fuel, and then these gases get trapped in our atmosphere, which is the air, okay, the air that we breathe in pretty much every single day. As these gases get trapped, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and such others gets trapped, it causes the earth to warm up more than usual. Again, this is known as global warming. Okay, so a bit on global warming. Global warming is a term used to describe a gradually increase in the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere and its ocean, a change that is believed to be permanently changing the Earth's climate. There's a great debate among many people that sometimes in the news on whether global warming is real or not. But climate scientists looking at the data and facts agree that the planet is warming. While many view the effects of global warming to be more sustainable and more rapidly occurring than others, the scientists consist on climatic change related to global warming is that the average temperature of the Earth has risen between 0.4 and 0.8 degrees Celsius over the past 100 years. And they also predict that that number will jump up to about 0.1, 0.4, or even 5 degrees Celsius by the year of 2100. Okay, so there are scientific data out there collected that states, yes, that our Earth is currently warming at a much faster rapid rate than usual. Okay, some may even argue that it's not happening. Okay, some say that there is not enough data out there to say that the Earth is warming, not enough incorrect or true data out there. But again, there are also data to debate that, say that it is actually happening. Okay. So with global warming taken into effect, whether we agree it's happening or we don't believe it's happening, um, things needs to be done. Okay. If things are not being done about climate change or global warming, it could easily get out of control and we can be in big trouble in the future. So, this is not a new problem. Again, politicians, environmentalists, they argue, they debate about this. Okay, popular debate among presidential debate campaign is what they are going to do to help fight or help reduce global change and global warming. Okay, very hot topic. Some people, especially environmentalists, really believe that this is actually happening. So back in 1997, there was an agreement, an international agreement that was signed known as the Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol. Again, in your textbook, there's an article that explains a bit more about the Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol is an international agreement setting targets for individualized and industrialized countries to cut their greenhouse gas emission. These gases are considered or at least partly responsible for global warming. The rise in global temperature, which may have catastrophic consequences for the life on Earth. Again, these gases that are targeted in the Kyoto Protocol are carbon dioxide, methane, and much more. Okay, CO2, CH4, and much more gases. Again, this was signed back in 1997, where the goal was to cut greenhouse gases. It was signed in 1997, but it did not take in effect until 2005. So again, Kyoto Protocol was signed 1997, and it took effect in 2005. Canada and other nations and countries gathered and they agreed and they signed this agreement where they discuss global warming, what we need to do, countries collaboratively together to help fight this cause. Again, the goal of the Kyoto Protocol is a mandatory cut in greenhouse gases emission, reinforce regulations to commit to cleaner air. Okay, air that we breathe, the air that we need. Again, some agree with the Kyoto Protocol and some disagree, and some do not sign it. Okay, for example, the United States and Australia, two big powerhouse countries that has tons of people that produces tons of pollution and other greenhouse gases, did not agree and did not sign the Kyoto Protocol. They did not ratify this, which makes it extremely hard for other countries to join if a big country like the United States did not join. So the goal with the protocol, again, like I said, was a mandatory cut in greenhouse gases emissions, where you want to produce a cleaner air where we're working together. The goal was to have industrialized countries have committed to cut their combined emissions by 5% of what it was in 1990. Okay, they want to cut it by 5% of what it was in 1990 by the year of 2008 or 2012. So the goal was to have whoever signed with the Kyoto Protocol was to cut their greenhouse emission below what it was in 2000. Sorry, to cut its greenhouse emission below by 5% of what it was in 1990 by 5% by the year of 2008 and 2012. That was the goal. However, not all countries who signed with the Kyoto Protocol met their goal or met their target. Most countries did reduce their greenhouse emissions overall by close to 3%. Again, this is a step forward where countries around the world are taking notice of global warming, but this is just a small step. Much more needs to be done. Have the Kyoto Protocol been successful and have we achieved this goal? Again, only we reduce our gases by 3%. Again, the United States here, they did not sign this agreement, and they argued that they did not sign it, that the United States President George W. Bush at that time pulled out the Kyoto Protocol, saying that implementing this agreement would have impacted the United States economy drastically. The President of the United States, Bush, said during that time, that he backs emission reduction through voluntary actions and new energy technologies. So that was the United States' argument for not signing on with the Kyoto Protocol, that it would impact their economy and that they will reduce it by voluntary actions and creating and producing new energy for technologies. Again, very hard for other countries around the world to jump upon this agreement if countries like the United States and Australia do not sign on. So that's the Kyoto Protocol. Again, there will be a question kind of leading back to the Kyoto Protocol and why the United States did not sign on and what the goals of the Kyoto Protocol is supposed to outline. Okay? So sticking and dealing with climate, how does climate affect us? Okay? How does climate affect us? Well, one, climate affects us by the food that we eat, the food that we grow, the clothing that we decide to wear, the types of shelter we build and live in. So if it's always extremely cold out, we need to always wear a heavy jacket, a toque, scarf, gloves, mitts, boots. Okay, but however, due to global warming and climate change, we may not need our big heavy jackets anymore. You may not wear that big heavy jacket as frequently as you would in past years. In terms of food, if it is technically warmer or getting warmer, we can grow more food than usual, which relates to the type of food that we eat. Okay, and it also impacts us in terms of the shelter that we live and that we build. If it is constantly getting warmer and it's getting hot more often, especially in the summertime, we may need to pump the air condition more often and more frequently to help keep us cool. Again, for t-shirts, flip-flops, shorts, okay, eating more ice cream, popsicles, okay, that impacts us, okay? It also impacts our economy as well. However, human actions are causing climate to change more rapidly than ever before, okay? So our actions every single day are causing these changes more quickly than ever before. Okay, whether it's true or not, whether you believe it or not, there are data out there that suggest this is true. So let's spend some time now and look at the pros and cons of climate change. Again, I'll say it again, this natural phenomenon of climate change and global warming, there's tons of data out there, books on the internet, hearing on the news every single day about this phenomenon of climate change and global warming, where we need to stop, take action to reduce this problem. Okay, Earth Hour was an example of the impact of global warming, where we shut off our lights for an extended period of time. But again, there is pros and cons. There's not always bad things about climate change and global warming. Again, pros and cons, the good and the bad. So let's spend some time now and look at the good and the bad of global warming. Like first and always, we'll start looking at the pros, which is the good side. You may not think there's some good side to global warming, but there can be. So pros to climate change can be frozen regions like Siberia, the Arctic region, and Antarctica may experience milder climate and more plant growth. Okay, more plants could be growing in these particular areas. As a result, they may even have longer growing seasons, or in areas who may not have long growing season may have more longer growing season. Okay, so that could be a benefit, could be a plus side where hey, it's warm outside, we can grow more agriculture, more farming. Okay, that could be a plus side depending on what you do day to day and where you live and such that. Okay, the pros of climate change. Again, frozen region like Siberia, Arctic, Antarctica may have milder climate. They can have and experience more plant growth, give or take. They have more vegetation being established. In other parts of the world, you can have longer growing season, which means that we may have more exotic fruits and vegetables that we may not have in certain time of years. So those are some pros about climate change. However, when looking at the negatives, the cons of climate change, oh, there's lots more. There's lots more. Okay. So the cons of climate change. Okay. Higher sea levels will rise. Okay. Glaciers, snow will melt much faster, which will lead to the increase and rise in sea level. Okay. Which may lead to more flooding. Oh, that's no good. Okay. Shoreline could be washed away. Erosions can take place at much faster rates. Okay. This impacts animals. Okay. There could be concern for animals and plant extinction. Okay, polar bears, for example, could be in danger, whether or not they are considered or already an endangered species, but they could be extinct at a much faster rate if climate change and global warming continues. Okay, they may not be able to hunt, have the proper habitat. If it is currently warmer, not snow as much in the northern region. Okay, there's another negative side of climate change. Deserts. We know deserts are always hot based on its climate year round, but they can be even hotter and it can get even drier, which it's not good. Again, it leads to more erosions and more and how it impacts damages our land. Okay. Another negative side of climate change is it can lead to food source shortage, okay, where we may not have much food depending on where you live in the world, give or take. More illnesses, okay, more disease will more likely to take place. With disease and illnesses leads to death, okay, our health, okay. Remember, we need to be healthy and strong every single day so that we can be happy, but with the increase in climate change, it impacts our health, illnesses and disease, okay, whether it's allergies from all the dust and air pollution they're breathing in, it could be asthma, okay, could be tons more, okay. You can also have heat wave, okay, especially our elders and who are more vulnerable to heat waves, okay. We need to keep them cool. We need to open up more centers to keep them nice and cool with air condition. Okay, heat waves impacts children and elders. Okay, and obviously more pollution. Okay, um, based on the cars that we drive and what we do every single day. Extreme weather, hurricane, earthquake, tsunami. Okay, natural disaster that comes out of nowhere. Again, these are all causes of climate change. Things change on our atmosphere at a much quicker rate. It's hotter. Okay, these are some examples of the negative side of climate change. Okay, am I forgetting anything? Okay, health consequences. Again, we talked about that. Um, but yeah, definitely more extreme weather for sure. Our health and impact on animals. Okay, they could lose their habitat. Again, you note that there are more negative sides to climate change than there are pros. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. So now we know what is climate change. We define it. We looked at it. We know what countries around the world, such as we here in Canada and other countries, have done, such as the Kyoto Protocol, which is a good step forward into combating and fighting and reducing. But more needs to be done. More needs to be done. And these things that can be done can be happening every single day. Okay? We don't need just the government and policies to help make changes. We as people, as citizens, can change the world based on what we believe in every single day. So my next couple slides deals with how to deal with climate change, how we can fight and reduce this national phenomenon and this crisis that we are talking and hearing about, known as climate change. First action to take place is mitigations. Okay, mitigation, which is taking actions to reduce the problem. Okay, taking actions to reduce the problem. So again, we know global warming is a problem. It's not good. It's bad things in terms of weather and health issues, but we can do something about it. Okay, so for example, we can just simply reduce greenhouse gases. Okay, we can switch from fossil fuel to solar energy to wind power. Okay, more renewable and natural sources such as fossil fuel, but use solar and wind power. We can drive more efficient cars. So if you have an old car and it's taking up a lot of gas and it's using a lot of emissions, we can switch to more efficient cars, whether it's a hybrid car or just a new efficient car. If you're in a city, public transit, okay, carpooling, if you're going to the same place with the same amount of people, want to take one less car and just carpool. And if you have a bike, you can bike to work every single day. Okay, there's no need to drive. Okay, so if you're living close to where you work or in your community, how you can hop on your bike, pedal to work pedal to where you need to go. Or even better, you can use our 2 feet. So we can walk, okay? Walk to groceries, walk to the rec center, walk to our learning center, okay? There's no need to always drive all the time. By doing all these small things, help reduce greenhouse gases and help reduce, more importantly, global warming. Another simple things that we can do is turn off the lights. It's currently sunny outside right now in Sulaco, so there's no need to turn the lights indoors. So you can flip that off. Again, saving energy, saving power. Again, helps fight global warming and climate change. Plant more trees. Something that we don't hear enough or hear every single day. Planting more trees helps to absorb greenhouse gases. That's why deforestation, clear cutting, losing all our forests is bad because trees absorbs all these greenhouse gases that we produce. So that's why it's kind of significant and important that we plant trees or help protect and keep our forests so that it helps reduce greenhouse gases. Recycle, reduce, and reuse. Again, garbage waste creates greenhouse gases. Okay, so the simple idea of recycling, reducing, reusing products, okay, pretty much anything that we use nowadays can be recycled, reduced, or reused, okay. There's pretty much nothing that can be thrown in the garbage, okay, nowadays. If you think about it, anything can be recycled, most things can be recycled. We can really will limit our use in terms of garbage. Okay, so those are just some examples of actions that we can do every single day, or even once a week, or once in a while, to help reduce the problems. Okay, so note some of these examples. There will be a question about how we can fight global warming and climate change coming up in your assignments. Again, feel free to use these examples. There are more examples in your textbook, or you can simply come up with more of your own examples, such as installing fluorescent light bulbs. Again, driving less, carpooling, which we mentioned, limit waste, limit the use of hot water, turn off the lights, you can turn off your electronic devices, or you have a smartphone, you can download like an app that saves energy, conserve water, don't leave your car running. Simple idea of eating less meat can help reduce greenhouse gases because animals in their day-to-day basis increase greenhouse gases and emissions. No need to use the dryer, for example. You can use a clothing line to dry our clothes. Okay, and simply, more importantly, what we can do to help fight climate change is spread their awareness. Talking about it, spreading their awareness, letting people know that this is a problem, encouraging others to do these small things can definitely go a long way. Okay, talking about it, spreading awareness. Hey, we know it, we hear it, so let's not waste time and start taking actions every single day that we can do here in town and in our communities. That is mitigation, taking action to reduce the problem. Another way to fight and deal with climate change is adaptation, or adapting or adaptation, which is to change or adjust to new situations. Okay? Again, I'll say it again. We know this is happening. We know climate change is kind of real. It's out there. Okay? So we must accept it. We must acknowledge it. And we need to change and adjust our situations to accommodate climate change and global warming. So, for example, we can grow crops in new climate. So why not take advantage? If we have longer growing season, let's grow more food. Okay, let's take advantage of that. Okay, so we know that we may have longer growing season, new climate. Let's grow new crops in this new climate. Expanding our healthcare. Yes, here in Canada we have healthcare. It's free. Why not expand it to other countries as well? So that not just here in Canada, but internationally around the world, they can have the same resources like we do. Okay, we know that climate change and global warming leads to health problems. Again, heat waves. It's too hot, especially for young children to play outside, especially our elders. Okay, there could be a flood that comes out of nowhere, uh, huge rain downpour. Okay, we see that more often nowadays, which can lead to flooding in our basement and other areas. Hurricane, earthquake. Okay, who knows? Okay, a huge infection of pests or disease coming out of nowhere. Again, leads to health problems caused by weather and climate. So again, we know it's happening, so why not take actions and adapt by expanding healthcare or creating more hospitals or clinics so that we can get the same treatment, not just here in Canada, but around the world. Another change or adjustment that we can make is that we can simply build more parks. Okay, why not? It's fun for our children. It looks nice, especially in our communities. Build more parks. Okay, plant more trees. Okay, create spaces that we can cool off. Okay, it's always hot out, especially in the summertime, whether it's humid or sticky and gross out. Okay, so why not build more parks, space to cool off? Okay, again, these are adaptation. We are acknowledging change. We're adjusting situations to these new situations. Okay, something to keep in mind as well. So again, those are just some examples that we can do, what people, everyday people can do, but there's more. There's definitely more. Our government and businesses can be involved as well. So not just we as people, but our company, stores, businesses, and even our government can take actions to help reduce these problems as well. So government and businesses can increase energy efficiency standards so they can reduce it, they can create policy, change laws, and whatnot. Government and businesses can also encourage the use of renewable energy. Okay, they can switch to more wind power, they can build more wind turbine, or you switch to solar power. Okay, again, with government and business working together, not just one, but as a community, as everyone, we can protect and restore forests as well. Okay, that goes back to what we learned about in terms of the biosphere, the bioreserve, sorry, where we want to conserve and we want to protect so that we have for future use. Okay, so not just we as people, but we can encourage our government, we can encourage our businesses and our companies to do the same thing as well. Okay, so by working together, we can help reduce and limit the increase of climate change and global warming. We can reduce greenhouse gas emission by working together. It doesn't just take one individual or one company or one simple policy, but we need to work together and even around the world internationally to help fight this crisis. Okay, but if we don't, we may be in big trouble. We may experience definitely increase in temperatures more rapidly. And then this simple green earth that we know can simply just be a picture, could simply just be a memory, as we won't have what we know today in the future. Okay? So that's that. So that's our today's lesson on the components of the environment, global warming, the Kyoto Protocol, how we can do to help prevent and fight climate change and global warming. Then that leads us off into assignment number 14. Assignment number 14. Okay. Reminder class, there are 16 assignments in all together. If you're doing the history and geography portions, again, almost there, almost done. So let's look at assignment number 14 right now. Assignment number 14 is out of 15 marks. Again, not a huge assignment. Question number 1 asks, name and describe the 4 components of the environment. Okay, not just 1, not just 2, but 4. So name them, so you can list them off if you want by saying the 4 components of the environment are, tell me the 4 names and describe it. Okay, remember, names and describe. Okay, name and describe. So again, you can say the biosphere, okay, which is birds, animals. You can say the atmosphere, which is the air that we breathe. Okay, so name the 4 components and tell me what they are, describe them. Okay, again, this is all in our slides that we talked about. Again, this is also in your textbook if you're using your textbook. Question number 2, what does global warming mean? Okay, so a simple description or explanation about what is global warming and why should we be concerned about global warming and how it affects the Earth. Okay, so what does global warming mean? So tell me what that is and why should we be concerned about its effect on the Earth. Okay, there's tons of effects. Okay, health problem, health consequences, increase in weather climates, okay, hurricane, natural disaster, earthquake, whatnot, okay, lots more, okay. We have lots of examples in terms of today's class. Again, feel free to use those examples. But again, question number 2, what does global warming mean and why should we be concerned about its effect on the Earth? Again, 5 marks, so I'm looking for lots of details. Lots of details. Question number 3, name the agreement that has been drafted by international community to address global warming situations. And what was it designed to accomplish? And what was it holding back from enforcing it? Okay, so what was that international agreement that we talked about? Starts with the letter K. Again, it's in your textbook. In other words, who did not sign this agreement and why? Hint, hint, United States, but why? Again, this is in your textbook. Okay, so again, tell me what that international community is. Okay, and what its goal was, what was it designed to do, and what was it holding back? Okay, what country did not sign it, for what reason? Okay, simply what that question is asking. Question number 4 out of 4 marks. Question number 4, what can we do as individuals to reduce global warming? Again, there are tons. Okay, I'll just give me one example, but I'll list off a few. Okay, what we can do as individuals to reduce global warming. Okay, lots of examples, things we do absolutely every day. Okay, that's out of 2 marks. And that right there, class, is assignment number 14. Again, out of 15 marks. Straightforward questions. Again, it's definitely asking a lot more details for sure. So again, write in full complete sentences. Don't just copy straight from the textbook. Okay, put it into your own words. Just answer what's being asked. Okay, don't need to write down that whole paragraph or copy the whole page. Okay, you won't receive full marks for that. But again, if you need any help or you're stuck on anything, just let me know. I'm here to help. Okay. give me a call, send me an email, send me a Facebook message. Stop by Wausau on Front Street, walk in, I'll come say hi, I'll help you. Okay, we can work through it together. Remember, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Okay? So, just before we call it a day for our call class, just want to remind everyone again, we have one more week left in this term. Okay? So, next week is our last week. We'll be wrapping things up very, very shortly. Just to remind everyone, again, tomorrow, okay, tomorrow will be Andrea's PLAR English tomorrow during my time slot. Okay, so you're looking for PLAR English. Okay, it's tomorrow live here at the Wausau studio, April the 5th at 10 a.m. Central Time. We'll be back on schedule on Thursday. No changes there. Okay, PLAR History and Geography on Thursday. Again, I am in Wagamo tomorrow. I'm there for one night. Again, for anyone that's in Wagamo, come on out to the Learn Center. We're bringing lots of food. Myself and Levi, a counselor here, will be coming. So again, if you need any help in terms of your assignments or your course material, come on out. We're here to help. We do what we can. But I'm really looking forward to my stay in Wagamo. Other than that, are there any questions? If there are, again, email, Facebook me, call me. You know the drill. Okay? Other than that, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see everyone back here